Hello, good afternoon. Sage here reporting live from Kalkine Studio. It's lunchtime here in Sydney. Time for the Mid-Market Pulse. And in today's show, we'll take a look at the overall Australian share market's performance by the mid-session trade. We'll also explore the biggest winners and losers of the day, such as Crown Resorts, Altium, Treasury Wine, Nanosonics, ALS, Wisetech Global. And lastly, we'll also focus on the stocks such as Spark Infrastructure, Janus Henderson, and many more that have also grabbed the headlines today. So without further ado, let's get started. And the Australian shares traded flat by the afternoon trade as gains in consumer staples and healthcare stocks were offset by losses in tech and telecom companies. The market struggled for direction in absence of any major event on the domestic or global front, while persistent concerns over inflation kept investors sidelined. And the mixed cues from Wall Street further dampened the market sentiment. By the afternoon trade, the ASX 200 index was up by just 3 points and the benchmark index opened flat today, but soon gained momentum and rose as much as 0.3% during the day's trade so far. And on the sectoral front, 6 of 11 sectors were trading higher. The consumer staples was the best performer with nearly 1% gain, followed by 0.8% rise in the healthcare space. And among others, energy, financials and A-REIT sectors also traded higher with modest gains. On the flip side, information technology sector was the biggest loser with a 0.9% loss. It was followed by 0.7% fall in telecommunication services, while industrials, utilities, materials and consumer discretionary sectors also reeled under the selling pressure. And in the next segment, let's focus on the top gainers and losers by the mid-session trade. The top performer on the ASX pack was Australia's largest gaming and entertainment group, Crown Resorts, which rallied over 16% on receiving a takeover offer. And some of the other notable gainers were software firm Altium, winemaking and distribution business Treasury Wine Estates, healthcare equipment manufacturer Sonic, healthcare and mining infrastructure services provider Mineral Resources. On the losing side, healthcare equipment manufacturer Nanosonics topped the chart with a 4.4% loss. And the other worst performers were professional technical services provider ALS, software business Wisetech Global, healthcare firm PolyNovo and the gold miner St Barbara. So on this note, let's move now to the stocks that created a buzz on the ASX today. And on the IPO front, Cadence Opportunities Fund, an Australia-based investment company, traded flat on its debut on the ASX today. The stock commenced trading on the ASX after the company raised 15.5 million Australian dollars at an offer price of $2.77 Australian per share in its IPO. Cadence is an investment company currently with approximately 200 shareholders. It has been operating as an unlisted investment company since January 2019. Shares of gaming and entertainment group Crown Resorts surged over 16% after it received a fresh takeover proposal from Blackstone. And the casino operator informed its shareholders this morning that it has received a non-binding proposal from a company on behalf of funds managed and advised by Blackstone Inc. and its affiliates. The transaction value of the deal is $12.50 Australian cash per share. And previously, Blackstone had offered a bid of $11.85 Australian cash per share in March this year, which was further upgraded to $12.35 cash per share on 10th of May 2021. And we've just reached the time now for a small break, but please stay tuned with me on Kalkine TV.
Hi there, James Preston for Kalkine TV. Are you into gaming and virtual reality? Does AI and the endless possibilities it entails capture your interest? Or are you constantly trawling through the web to try and discover the latest updates and innovations in the tech space? Well, let us do the work for you. From the latest product launches to shocking affairs on the World Wide Web, exclusive interviews and information about the top companies like Apple and Google to brand new tech startups vying for your attention. Kalkine's Tech Beat has the latest in what matters in the world of technology. Join me every single Thursday on the Tech Beat, exclusive to Kalkine TV.
Welcome back to Kalkine TV. Let's move on now to more stocks that created a buzz on the ASX today. Spark Infrastructure's shares traded marginally lower after it unveiled plans to pay a special distribution. The company proposed that if the acquisition of Spark Infrastructure by Picker Bidco becomes effective, it will pay a special distribution of 12 cents per share from the Spark Infrastructure Trust. The Australian firm, which invests in regulated utility infrastructure globally, said the payment of the special distribution is subject to approval by the Spark Infrastructure Board. And shares of Altium extended gains for the second day and rose over 5% after the software company reaffirmed its earnings guidance for 2022's financial year. And the company's CEO, Aram Mirkazemi, on Thursday told investors that the company was on track to achieve its guidance in 2022. The company is committed to achieve 16 to 20% growth in revenue and an underlying EBITDA margin of 34 to 36%. And Mirkazemi said while speaking at the AGM. So shares of Treasury Wine Estates also made the news, continuing its gaining streak for the second day after announcing its acquisition of Frank Family Vineyards on Thursday. The global winemaking and distribution business has reached an agreement to acquire Frank Family Vineyards in the United States for $315 million. The deal would be financed through a combination of debt and cash, including proceeds from the recent US asset divestments. The transaction is expected to be completed in December of 2021. And shares of Wisetech Global dropped 0.5% after it reaffirmed its revenue and earnings guidance at its AGM today. CEO Richard White said the company expects to report revenue growth of 18 to 25% and EBITDA growth of 26 to 38% in 2022's financial year. Janus Henderson, a global asset management group, traded 2.7% higher by mid-session. The company, in an exchange filing, said its CEO, Dick Whale, will retire after 12 years in the job, effective March 31st, 2022. The company's board has initiated an internal and external search process with the assistance of an executive search firm to identify a successor. And thanks for joining us on that report. That's a wrap in the show, but please do keep watching Kalkine TV for more such trending market updates from Australia and around the world. Sage signing off.